So this is about how to wow your guests in having when you have your open house. So first off, I want to say it's not like when you put an open house on, it's not a wham bam thank you ma'am kind of a thing. It's not like you walk in and say, okay, well next week we're going to do the open house and we're going to go up some flyers and you know and that's and then we'll just go with it. It won't come off very well. People won't be impressed. You won't even your own colleagues won't even be impressed because they'll know it was just a slam dunk kind of a thing. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we prepare, and so it takes time. And when you take the time to do this and allow yourself to think through the processes, it just makes the whole experience better and that you are relaxed. Because you don't want to be huffing and puffing and because you can't get something that you was hoping to get, and here it is the day of the event and you don't have it. So we're going to look at a few things in order to kind of get our heads around the fact of actually having a workshop. I mean, having an open house. So why do we have open houses, by the way?
To get the word out, to try to get visitors to come in and then nail them as a member.
Okay, and when you said the nailing part, that was figuratively speaking.
Yes, of course.
Go to his club, you'll have a bloodbath.
I know.
All right, so it's so that you're able to get people to come to your club, experience, actually go through the Toastmasters experience, and hopefully you're able to get them to join your club.
Yeah.
Now I went to a a workshop that I thought was just, you guys can see this, right?
Yep, I can see it.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
All right. And I went to this guy's, Bob Reese, and he put on this thing called 6 Steps to Convert Virtual Guests to Members Without Being Pushy. That was directed to Bruce Lang. Anyway, and I thought it was excellent because he actually came up with asking the guests certain questions, and these questions kind of like guided them to join. And I just found it to be miraculous almost. And I've used this on several occasions, and you see them actually thinking as you're moving them to the direction of joining your club. So I want everybody to do it. Now I'm going to give you. Don't worry about whatever you see on the screen. I'm giving you a document, and it has all of the links and everything all in. So don't worry. You may, unless if there's additional things that you want to write down, please do not hesitate. All right. So Bob it's about 45 minutes, and it's great. And I think this is the first thing that you should do, and just in order to get your head in straight, because the whole purpose, as Bruce said earlier, is that if you are opening your doors in order to get people to come to your club so that you can turn them into members. And so it's a six-step plan. So he talks about the 4 types of questions that you have to ask. You have to understand their why. Why are they there? And how to position the membership application. By the way, Toastmasters International says, don't be shy. First, when they walk in the door and after you introduce yourself, don't be afraid to give them that application on their first time at your club. I know some clubs, they say, oh no, we let them visit, and like maybe the 3rd time we then offer the application. My own personal experience is that when I went to my first Toastmasters meeting, I knew I was going to join. I knew it. And I believe that most people, not all, but I do believe that most people know whether or not they're going to join. We all know if we go to the store and if we see a sweater, instantly we know whether or not we like it or we don't. So why would it be any different when it comes to joining a club? And it's not about the cost of the membership, because I mean it's not that much. And then you want to be able to learn how to follow guests. Did I hear somebody?
Yes, me. I just wanted to make a comment about the 5th, the bullet point there about the cost of membership. What I've been finding lately is if you have an existing Toastmaster attending an open house or interested in joining your club, it's important to remind them that the club doesn't need to or shouldn't be charging the $20 new member fee. So right there, if an existing Toastmaster wants to join your club, they do not have to pay the $20 new member fee. So that's a savings of $20 right there for them.
Hey, you can take that $20 and buy yourself a pad.
Exactly.
As opposed to giving it to supporting the club. One thing, so the other thing about after you look at the video, and I'm going to also, as I said earlier, I'm going to give you the handout that came up, that was given to me when I saw the workshop live, and so I'm going to pass that along to you as well. Is you need club promotional material. Now, the July 2021 Toastmaster was chock full of promotional material. And so let's see if we can just click on this link. Let's see if we can bring something up here. Okay, so it's it's a Dropbox. And basically what I did was I went online and I just downloaded all the stuff, and I downloaded it all in one place because I found that it was time consuming, and I kept thinking nobody's going to go through this to get all of this stuff and put it in order without, they'll just give up, they'll say forget it. So I decided that I would just grab all of it and put it in one place. And so it's not my stuff, but I'm definitely going to give it to everybody. So one thing about flyers is about the branding. So you know how particular Toastmasters International is about the branding. They want you using brand compliant colors, brand compliant fonts. They want you to use these things, and so that you still have this uniform message that you're delivering to your community, same as and other clubs would be doing in their community. So and here, this is the oh, not that. This is the branding manual. is in here. And this talks about the colors that you can use within the branding in your advertisement, in your flyers. There's tons of brochures that you can use. I love this one right here, the benefits of membership. I find this one to be great because it actually has underneath it, it has all of the bullet points that you need in order to, when you're talking to someone at your club.
Okay,
So
so I
I
don't know
think,
if
I'm
it's just
sorry?
me, but you're not sharing the,
Yeah.
like, all we can see right now is a PowerPoint.
Is the what?
The PowerPoint, the Bob Weiss PowerPoint thing.
Okay, hold on. Okay, let me see if I do this. Okay, I'm gonna come out of that. Okay, now let's go back in. Okay, so now can you see the
Yep.
the browser?
Browser, yes, now we can.
Okay. Okay, so you can see the folders.
Yes, the folders.
Okay. All right, so I'll just quickly go back. Oh no. I'm done with that one. Okay, can you see that, the benefits of Toastmasters membership?
Yep, yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, this is a great handout to give to an individual who's just walked into your club, because all you need to do is glance down and pick a couple of the pointers here that describes some of the benefits of becoming a Toastmaster. I mean, this way you're not fumbling or stumbling over words or anything. Just grab a couple of these bullet points, you say them, allow them to get comfortable, and then you are able to let them go forward with the meeting. One thing that I find is that most people know how to use Zoom. So I would suggest that if you are assigned to a specific guest, is that you tell the guest, look, if you have any questions, just send me your questions through the chat so that I can answer those questions. And that way they're not just sitting there, because basically for what it's worth, they're alone. They're at home or they're in their office, but they're by themselves and they still have questions. So I would suggest that you use the chat feature in order to resolve any questions that they may have. Oh. And I think everybody has seen the Find Your Voice. And then this is all about Toastmasters. All of these are the tried and true. Only thing that they're on, you can email these, or you can transfer these to your guests via the chat. Trying to think of what other things here. Okay, looking there. Okay, this is one book booklet that I think everybody should go through, especially your BPE, BPPR. And this is the Let the World Know manual. This has everything you can possibly imagine when it comes to promoting. Anything from talking about the concepts to actually showing you forms that you can use to handle promotion, prefab, what do you call those things? Can't think of what you call them, but I guess they're more or less not newsletters, but they're notices that you give to companies who will advertise in your behalf. So newspapers, magazines, you submit these to them, and I'll show you one later on tonight. Okay, and then there's a whole lot of stuff. And don't feel like if you're a corporate club, there's tons of flyers that are specifically designed for corporate clubs to use. And there's also flyers that you can use that are prefabbed, they come from Toastmasters, they're PDFs, and all you need to do is just type in, because they give you these areas on the flyer where you can type in your club information, date, your name, club name, date, time, that type of information, contact information if they get lost. All of those things are available. So they give you tons of it. And I don't think you will be missing anything in terms of advertisement within Toastmasters. So now you know what, you have your advertisement, but you can't send it out yet because you haven't figured out, your agenda, right? So your agenda is now going to be what? You need to find a guest speaker. Who's that going to be? Okay, I have a concept, a thing about guest speakers. So I'm just going to be really quick and get through this. Have you noticed, and this varies from club to club, but have you noticed that if you happen to have a Toastmaster, guest Toastmaster, be a guest speaker, that a lot of your guests will be Toastmasters? Now, I know this because the last couple of times we at one of my clubs, we had the district champion come and was our guest speaker, our keynote speaker. Gave his presentation, it was beautiful. The room, we had more guests than I can imagine. But they were all Toastmasters, and none of them joined because they weren't there to join. They were there because here we had the district champion, and they were there to see and hear him. So I'm going to suggest, and I'm not ruling out the getting a Toastmaster as the guest speaker, but I would suggest looking to see if you can find someone else. So like maybe you, a politician, maybe your local MP, maybe someone who's well-known within in the community, a school teacher, could be a doctor or a lawyer. It really doesn't matter, but the individual, the only rule is no politics. Because that's just something that within Toastmasters, we try to keep ourselves away from.
I've got a question about marketing an open house. Is that doable now or later on, or?
What do you mean? No, please ask your questions now.
Okay, because my Wednesday club is in the planning stages of doing an open house in October.
Yes.
And we are actually having Roger Caesar as our guest speaker. And so he is a Toastmaster, but he's not going to do a speech. He's going to talk about creating speeches, I believe is what the subject is. Now we're planning on advertising it on on District 60's Facebook account, which of course it's going to be aimed at Toastmasters. But a few of us have personal Facebook accounts. Would you suggest that we advertise, that we do a post on our own Facebook accounts so that our friends or our tons of friends who are not Toastmasters see this?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I
I
believe
would definitely, because we always talk about bring your friends.
Yeah.
Friends, associates, bring your mom.
And if you have created an event, if the club creates an event within their Facebook page, and that's a page, not a group, within the page, then people who are like that page, they can easily share that event to their Facebook friends.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have a Facebook page. We do have a Facebook group though.
Yeah, it depends on if it's public or private.
Or private.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sandy. And then you want to think about who's going to be your Toastmaster. Okay, now this person should be, I don't know, like an MC. They know how to carry it. Not okay, well, we heard from, Johnny B. Good, and so now we're going to hear from such and such. But to be able to connect, to be able to weave from one part of the meeting to the next, and do it with style and grace, because you're there at this point to impress your guests.
Elton, just to jump in, Lisa has a question.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Hi, Elton. I just wanted to ask you, when I click on the link to go to the club marketing materials, it takes me to my Dropbox and log in, but I'm not seeing any of the documents. Are you going to be sharing those and giving them to us through Dropbox?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. It's everything that you're seeing here. I have a document that I'm going to give you, and within that document, you will be able to more or less do whatever you want. I decided not to do a PDF file because you can't write in it, and I want you to be able to put your own stuff in here to make this document your own, and then you can pass it on to somebody else when it's somebody else's turn to handle the open house.
Amazing, thank you.
Okay, so you want to create your open house flyer. Anita, our district director, is she really wants our flyers to be brand compliant. That means the colors, the fonts, the style to be compliant. Now I found, and let's hope you guys can see this when I click on this. I found a group that actually has some really cool marketing templates. And it appears that these templates were approved by the the Toastmasters International Public Relations Officer, but I find them to be amazing. These are all, by the way, these are all Word documents. And let's see if I can click on one and see if it'll come up. Okay, so. Now, I find these two actually to be beautiful. These are really compliant. You can do basically whatever you want. You can just type right in these guys. Put whatever text in that you wish in here. And if you notice, it says here right at the top what the font is, which is Merit Pro. And it actually gives you the brand colors that are being used so that you don't go astray. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can make this kind of like your own, truly. So let's say I don't want the logo to be there. I can actually move it someplace else. Let's say I don't want this guy there either. I can get rid of this. I can even get rid of this image if I don't want this image. But when it's all said and done, this is going to be brand compliant. So this goes for all of the other, no, don't say that. This goes for all of the other ones that are here. All of them do the same thing. So if you want it, you can actually cut and paste from one to another to kind of like more or less create your own. But as long as you stay within the brand, it's brand compliant, then you don't have a problem. For me personally, this works for me, totally works for me, because now I don't have to think about this. I can just go ahead and put my text. If I want to switch out one block from one of the other documents and put in the one that I'm working on, I can do that. And it's all done in Word. So if you're able to, if you have Microsoft Word or you use a Microsoft compliant editor, then you should be great. You want to make sure that you have a photographer. Now, in this case, your photographer will be the individual that happens to be capturing the images that are on the screen. It's really important to remember that you have gallery view, and then there's the other view. Can't think of it now. So when you are looking at your speaker, you want to make sure that you're in full screen mode so that you're able to capture nice pictures of the individual that happens to be your keynote speaker. And while you're at it, you might as well have you ask your keynote speaker to stand when they're going to give you their presentation. It just looks better, the pictures look better, it just comes across a lot better than having your keynote speaker sitting and giving their presentation. There on the District 60 website. See if we can move that. Okay. There are tons of places that you can use to advertise. So slow. All right, so this is, we're at the District 60 website, as you can tell by the top. And we want to go down to near to the bottom. And if right here, see how it says there, Toronto community calendars and event listings? All of these links here points to a platform where you can advertise. And all of these are free. You don't have to pay for any of these. Now, the one that I would say I highly recommend is Snap. Or Snap, well, it was called Snap, but now it's Snapd. And with that one, you can actually really put together whatever ad you have put together text-wise. You can put the whole thing on Snapd and have it published. I'm gonna go over to this right for a minute. I think this is not going to come up. I think I'm eating way too much bandwidth. Okay, I'm going to move on. It's taking way too long. But all of these are you can actually use them. Now the only caution I'm going to give is that you need to actually look at these closely, because sometimes well, I guess I take that back. I was going to say you have to be careful because you don't know what area. You have to make sure that the area of the city that you want people that you're going for are near your club. But that's a far gone thing. At this point, we can ask for people in Hong Kong to join our club. Doesn't matter. Yes, sir.
Right. On the side there, under where it says professional stock images of Toastmasters, and then the third one, no, up, go back up. Keep going, better stop. Professional stock images and also PowerPoint presentation. Why are those two things crossed out?
Okay, because they no longer exist, at least at the location that they were supposed to have been.
Okay.
So I know for if you go to Toastmasters International and you know that little box at the top, the search box, if you just put in there stock photos, the link will come up.
Okay.
And the stock photos are high res, high quality images that were created by Toastmasters International, and you can basically use them for any event that you wish. So think about it. You can actually take some of those pictures, one, maybe two, and actually put them on those flyers that we were looking at earlier. If you don't like what's on there now.
Yep.
Excuse me. Bye. Okay. As for the PowerPoint presentation, I think you can find that on the District 60, on the TI International website under resources. But I definitely know about the one for the first one that I said. That one, the stock photos, you're definitely able to get to those by just typing in stock photo. Okay, so some people are from the old school, and so they're going to say, you know, we want a banner, we want our banner. Well, you know, half of our banners we don't know where they are. The other half are locked up someplace where we can't get to them, and all of this happened because of the pandemic. So if you are of that type, in this area, you're able to download a pseudo banner. And you can actually, and then you stick it into your as a background on Zoom. So you know how you are able to install backgrounds in Zoom? Does everybody know how to do that?
The virtual backgrounds?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I've already done the virtual backgrounds for my 3 clubs.
Okay, good.
Cool.
And you're able to use one, it's a generic one, it just has District 60 on it, and you can actually slap that in the back and in your virtual, and then run your meeting if you want to have a banner. For those who may not know much about Zoom, the next section is about that. So talks about what's the difference between the free versus the paid version or the pro version of Zoom. And I can tell you what the major difference is between the two. If you have the free one, you only have 40 minutes and then it disconnects you. And then you have to reconnect. So I would strongly suggest not using that during your open house, because that would certainly not look good.
It actually goes a lot. If there's only 2 of you on the Zoom call, then it's unlimited apparently.
Yes, but hopefully you're going to have more than two people at your open house.
Of course.
The other thing I want to mention is the fact of if at the beginning and at the end, and depending on the length of your open house, because some clubs they meet every other week, so they meet for 2 hours. And so if you have a break in the middle, this is a good time to get to know your guests. And the best way to do that is by using breakout rooms. Now, at my club at Creatively Speaking, this is what we use to actually talk to our guests and try to persuade them to join our club. And I think this is a nice place to go because it's quiet, everybody else is talking, there's no way that you can talk with one person in a crowd of 25. So if you go in a breakout room, you talk, it's just you and this other person, it's quite pleasant. And I think that was the best way to find out what the needs of that person is and ask them those 4 important questions that Bob Reese talks about in his workshop. This is also a place you might want to show your club's awards and certificates and trophies and all that kind of stuff. And of course, that would mean somebody would have to photograph them so that you can show them as a running slideshow, or where they're going to be able to sit in the background as people are coming in, they get the opportunity to see those awards. Make sure that you get your flyers once you have them created, and once you get the green light from whoever, don't hesitate to start sending them out. So and make sure that they are in PDF format, because you don't want somebody messing with, the internet sometimes can do very strange things to documents, but if you have it in a PDF, then that means nothing on the flyer will move. It's locked in place, and when it's being sent across the internet, you don't have to worry about someone getting it and it's jumbled. So that means that you can send it through the internet. The other thing too is that if you work in a corporate environment and you're actually going in to work, then the perfect place would be to put them on billboards, and usually they have those things in lunchrooms, for an example, and you can tack those flyers up. Also, this is, and sometimes I think it was where, I'm trying to remember. Where Bruce's club meet, when you're at the elevator, there is a place for flyers where you can actually tack them into that area so that people can see them as they're going up and down the area. But in this case, we want to really focus in on how many places can we deliver this image, this PDF file via the internet. Does anybody have any ideas of where they could deliver it, where they could send this thing?
The one thing that came to mind was my Tuesday club, which is Sun Life Financial based, even though it's not a corporate club, it's an open club. But Sun Life Financial has an intranet called Workplace. And we, for our 25th anniversary meeting in early July, we had some of the members that are Sun Life employees post the poster, advertised it basically onto their or into their workplace, and that generated, I think, 15 guests.
Wow.
To attend the meeting.
Wow. Okay, so the intranet works, and even if you're not going into work, a lot of companies are still using their intranet, and this is how they're communicating with their employees, even though the employees may be at home. Yes, working from home. So if you're able to submit your flyer so that it is placed on the intranet so that people get to see it site-wide, that would be an excellent opportunity that you've taken advantage of. Obviously it works. Listen to Mr. Lang.
A funny story, we had one woman who works for, I don't work for Sun Life Financial, but we had one woman who heard about the anniversary meeting because she works for Sun Life Financial, but she lives in Stratford.
Wow.
She attended our meeting of course, the whole meeting was on Zoom, and she ended up going to an in-person meeting in Stratford, Ontario, and she ended up joining that club.
Okay, well, as long as she became a member, I guess that's the most important thing. But my God, all the way in Stratford, What was she doing out all the way? Oh, maybe she was going for a show.
Oh, no, she lives out there. She works for Sun Life, but she works from home.
Oh, very cool. That area is very beautiful.
Yeah.
Stratford, and then the town right next to it, St. Mary's.
St. Mary's and Shakespeare.
Beautiful, quaint little towns.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where you want to, week 5, and this is where you want to make sure that you have everything all set. You want to make sure that you have a theme for your meeting. You want to make sure that, you know, the table topics master has his table topics or her table topics. They're going to fall in line with whatever the theme of the meeting is going to be, which is set by the Toastmaster. And I know it's difficult to meet and greet, but the only way that I've been able to find to do that is by just saying, you know, we're going into a breakout room so that we can hear each other as we're talking. And I've not had anybody refuse me to. No one's ever said, no, I don't want to do that. It's safe. I can't hurt them, right? And we already talked about the meet and greet. Oh yeah, and they did, you know, there's this guest. We talk about guest packages all the time, and so all of the flyers and brochures that I talked about earlier that you're going to get to visit has all of that stuff in there. But I found this document. I'm sure everyone else knows what I'm talking about. But I think if you just use this as your, where are you? I think this is very cool. Oh, and when you see me looking like this, I have a larger screen, so it's not like I'm distracted or something. Isn't this cool? And this is called Why Toastmasters. And basically everything is here. So what is Toastmasters? It basically tells you what it is. What can you expect at a meeting? And it actually has the video right here that you can tell them later that they can run so that they can see this. Now, this is great if you have individuals that you're trying to allure. This is perfect for them because they get to actually make a decision based on what they see. How can I start learning now? What are members saying? How do I learn and grow? All of these are in there. What does the club experience offer? So you get to see a little, you get a chart so that you actually see what this experience offers to an individual who comes to visit your club. So I think this is really, really good in terms of providing concise information in one link, one package. For me, it's much easier than having to deal with all of the other items. Having said that, some clubs are very specific about the message that they want to deliver. And if that's the case, then they need to go through the flyers and brochures and so that they can select the ones that are closest to the club's vision. Now, these are ideas for a successful open house, right? So you want to send a personal email after the meeting. Now, this is one thing I want to say about that is, how are you guys collecting information from your guests right now? Carrier pigeon?
I know when we did our open house, we actually just pinged them and then we wrote up a list of all the names and the emails so that we could connect with them later.
Okay, that's one way. All of us have, I'm sorry, many of us have, I have to correct this because Bruce will get me if I don't say this right. Many of us have Google accounts. And within Google, it has tons of all of these applications and word processing, and if you want to put together a slideshow, you can do all of these things under it. Why not create a form that you can just have individuals go to, and they just fill out that form, and then when they hit the submit button, they automatically, all the information is put in one place. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and the learning curve is not high at all. Just a thought. But because you want everything to be smooth and no humps and bumps. Now, if you are having having everyone register to attend your meeting, then you don't have that problem because you're going to have that list. What is that called? Spreadsheet will be created with all the information in it. But if you don't do it that way, then you need to have an eloquent way of being able to get that information. And the best way that I've found so far is by creating a Google form, asking them several questions, and having them hit the submit button. Then at the end of the meeting, you just go back and you just grab hold of all that information. And from that Google form, you can actually create a spreadsheet so that you have all the information laid out, and then you know exactly how to contact the individuals. Oh yes, you want to make sure that you have a Zoom master, whoever's going to take care of Zoom for you. And it should be one person, and there can be several co-hosts involved, which I think is good. You need to have co-hosts so that if something bad happens to the Zoom master, your show doesn't get interrupted. And the rest of these are just checklists, and some of these are just optional. But you want to set a goal for how many members you're going to have. And that way, once you have that in mind, then everything else will fall in place because you're already saying we're expecting 15 guests to come to our club. And always think big. If you don't get 15, but you get 10, that's nothing to be ashamed about. If you're going to do press releases, that in itself needs to go out about a month before your meeting, because you want to make sure that gets out far and wide. You want to make sure that your press release are written, are concise. That first paragraph should say basically everything. The name of the speaker, or starting off with a question related to the speaker's presentation, the speaker's name, the person's accreditation, and basically that's it. Because these journalists who look at these things, they go through anywhere from 400 to 500 emails every day. if yours come up and that first line is not appealing to that individual, they're just going to toss it and move on to the next. And what will happen is you'll see that you're getting like 700-800 hits, but you're not getting anybody to actually put your announcement in any newspaper. Forget the last one because that's coming from a different time, different place. Okay, so we talked about Snapd. We talked about having greeters using breakout rooms. Follow-up letters to the guests. Please, 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 please do not send out form letters. No. This is the reason why you're collecting information from these people when they come. Like, why are you here? So when you write your email back to them, you include the reason why they said they're here. Oh, I'm here because I have lockjaw when I stand at the podium. As soon as I get there, it's like I have glue in my mouth and it slams shut. I can't even talk. But you want to include that in your follow-up letter back to them. Toastmasters can help you with the glue in the mouth syndrome. And then they're going to think, oh my God, somebody's actually listening to me, which is exactly what you want. You want to get them to, you want to have these emotional connections with these individuals so that they will join your club. And then at the bottom link is a check, yet another checklist, and you're more than welcome to use that one, or actually take mine and see if you can put and see if there's something on it that isn't there. To be honest, I found a lot of checklists. And so I just more or less take a lot of them and move information from theirs to mine to come up with one that I thought was substantial and it contained information that was relevant to our district's needs. And that is the end of my workshop presentation on how to put on an online open house that will wow your visitors. So are there any questions?
I did mine throughout, so that's good.
No questions.
Elton,
Yes,
I jump in just a quick one.
please.
You didn't mention Meetup and event. Well, you did mention Eventbrite, but those are the two tools that you can use to direct traffic automatically to your open house.
Okay, and does everybody use, are your clubs using Meetup?
Yes, for the weekly club meetings, but we haven't gotten one visitor yet.
Okay, if your club is not using Meetup, you should talk to your area and or division director so that you can gain access to them. In District 60, it's paid for, so you don't have to pay for using Meetup. The other thing, did you guys see that notice about Zoom, and that if you send back the survey from Toastmasters International, that you will get a code and you'll be able to use that code to knock off 50% for 1 year.
Yeah. My Tuesday and Thursday clubs are both Sun Life financial based, and all the employees have a Zoom account. And then my Wednesday club, we either have, we've got a couple of people that have their own paid Zoom account.
The other thing too is that if you don't know about the Zoom discount, if you go to the District 60 website and scroll down almost to the middle, it's all right there. It'll tell you everything. There is an FAQ page that you can click on to bring up additional information so that you can make an informed decision about whether or not you want to get that 50% off. And I haven't seen anything on that FAQ that would make anyone, I think, stop from getting that 50% off.
Yeah.